What's up, mortals? It's Dante from the anime Underworld, and today we are reviewing chapter 212 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse. We got a cover with 𝐼𝐻 looking a lot more feminine than usual, and a mysterious third person on the cover. Who is that person? Well, let's get into it. We begin chapter 212 back in Leonis, and with the Knight of Death waking up abruptly in his bed. Hope you had a good rest, Percival. You definitely needed it. He's wondering where he is. I mean, fair enough. Until someone says that he's in Leonis. Then Percival turns to see who said it. It was, of course, Lancelot, who was just sitting there, reading a book and watching him sleep.
Now, how long you been sitting there?
35 years.
As if watching him sleep wasn't weird enough, Lancelot smirks, saying, "You were out like a light for 3 days. I was so bored I went back home to chill for a while." And Percival gives a very big smile, either because he's very happy to see Lancelot or he just realized that he was asleep for 3 days. But he's not worried by the fact that he was asleep for 3 days. He's wondering where's Anne, Donnie, and 𝐼𝐻. Lancelot explains that Donnie still isn't awake yet, which is fair. The guy really deserves the nap. And as for the other two, he doesn't know. But that's not going to stop him from tracking them down. We transition away from the Knight of Death to a medical clinic with someone stirring up ingredients. Sorry to make you help the moment you got back. We are now focusing on 𝐼𝐻 and hendrickson, which is great. I actually wanted to see more of these two. 𝐼𝐻 says that there's nothing to worry about. Working on medicine is the most relaxing thing for her. Hendrickson knows what she means and says, by the way, 𝐼𝐻, has something, well, changed with you? This makes 𝐼𝐻 nervous, asking, can you tell? But hendrickson says, it's just that the nurses said something like that for some reason. And I have to agree with 𝐼𝐻's reaction to all this. Dude, how can you not tell? Hard to believe he was supposed to be taken seriously as a villain in season 1. Someone calls out for hendrickson, and 𝐼𝐻 notices two very big distinct features about this person, saying that they're here to pick up some cut and concussion ointment that they asked for. Our old pal hendrickson introduces the young woman. Alright, this young lady escaped from Camelot 2 years ago, and now she's one of my nurses at the dispensary. And 𝐼𝐻 is surprised to know who this person is. Not that we got an upskirt shot from Nakaba Suzuki. And turns out this nurse is Rosebank, the Holy Knight of Camelot from the Demon Realm arc. And wow, she got a big change in terms of her redesign. She even tells 𝐼𝐻, but damn, you sure look different than before. I mean, you're not exactly the same either.
What on earth have you done? My McGuppies became bazongas.
Great 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭's ghost. Are those real? Oh, all right.
We transition away from the clinic with 𝐼𝐻 and Rosebank off to deliver the ointment to their knights in training. Well, not only them, but also she's backing up the Holy Knights fighting Camelot on the front lines. 𝐼𝐻, much like the rest of us, never expected her to switch sides like that. But the young nurse explains that, well, after the fight in the Demon Realm 2 years ago, she just had it with Camelot, which surprises 𝐼𝐻. Rosebank goes on to say that there is only 2 kinds of people in Camelot right now. Those who think all those illusions are real and live with them, and those who think that they're fake but keep on living in their fantasies. 𝐼𝐻 tells her that she can't really expect that to be labeled as a bad thing, but she does get it. And Rosebank jokes that, well, aren't you a kind kid? Rosebank grits her teeth, saying, but there's a real world too, and they don't even try to reach an understanding with it. And she just can't accept that, and never will. She makes a fist and says that it wasn't for them, Percival would, but then goes silent. She doesn't know the truth, does she? Rosebank turns to 𝐼𝐻, asking, I've heard some convincing rumors that Percival is alive. Are they? And she turns around to see 𝐼𝐻 giving a calm, reassuring, and pretty sweet smile, letting her know that Percival is indeed back from death. I was not expecting Rosebank, of all characters, to be here. I thought she was still on the side of Camelot. Turns out she just off-screen abandoned Camelot. And this does make me wonder, what about the rest of her squad? You know, Nanashi and the rest of the group that survived, unlike Deodora's uncle. We cut to the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 training grounds where someone is having their butt kicked. But it's not just that poor fellow who's getting his butt kicked. Someone else with a inferior mustache to our dear Escanor. Wait till you'll see this, you smug girl. Unfortunately, much like the other guy, he does not last long and is sent flying. Anne calls out next, but Pelio is not exactly having this. He's recommending that Anne, take a little break. But come on, this is Anne we're talking about. She yells at Pelio, saying that she couldn't do a thing to help the Knights of Prophecy over in Anfuin. In fact, she was nothing but a drag on them. How could she not be training herself right now? I mean, she does have a point. She didn't really help out much in the story, sadly, even with her sacred treasure. However, Pelio is more trying to help the other guys than he is trying to help her, saying, I know, but none of these trainees can hold a candle to you in swordplay. But Anne has a counter-argument. Then you fight me next, Pelio. And he tries to worm his way out, saying, me? Oh, but I mean, What? Looking down on me because I'm a girl? Don't lie, man. Don't do it. Don't do it, Pelio. Even though he says, no, not that at all. Dude, you shouldn't have said that. Yeah, Anne knows he was bullshitting her, but she turns her attention away from Pelio to 𝐸𝐿DE, while Pelio is face-bursting himself into the ground. While the other guys are trying to rescue Pelio from being buried alive by Anne's magic, 𝐸𝐿DE is asking her friend, are you still training? Well, yeah, actually I would like you to join me. But Anne pauses for a moment, noticing something new and gleaming. An earring is on 𝐸𝐿DE's ear. And this gets Anne all excited, like she's about to squeal. Anne grabs her tall friend and drags her away, saying, come here for me for a second, leaving Pelio face first in the dirt, but he's at least admitting that, okay, I did look down on you, help! And we never saw Pelio again. We notice that 𝐸𝐿DE has an earring on, but not only that, it looks a lot like the one that Prince Tristan has, which has Anne all excited and wanting the details. Our very tall Knight of Love explains that no, it wasn't from him. It does match his, yes, but it was actually given from Queen Elizabeth. I mean, of course, she's the only one who wears those earrings. This makes Anne's worries just disappear, saying, oh, okay, so it wasn't from Tristan himself. He really is still a kid, However, the fact that the earring was given from the Queen of 𝐸𝐿DE herself does make her excitement and worry return, with Anne asking, so wait, his parents are okay with you and him? 𝐸𝐿DE explained what happened between her and the Queen. That Elizabeth said, thank you, 𝐸𝐿DE. Tristan told me he probably would never have come without you being there, as she removed her earring and hoped that she could keep supporting him for her own sake. Come on, 𝐸𝐿DE, you got the approval of the Queen, Tristan's mother. Don't be so nervous. Anne is just completely fangirling. She is all excited and giddy, asking, so the prince said he loves you? What'd he tell you? Come on, 𝐸𝐿DE, give her the details. However, our tall girl is just blushing red like a tomato, saying, well, I'm sorry, but I prefer to keep that locked within my own memories. Yeah, I can understand what you're coming from, but come on, girl, you got that kiss. And this makes all of Anne's excitement just vanish. Going kind of sad, saying, ah, that sure is nice, making this moment very, very awkward. Anne and 𝐸𝐿DE walk through the streets of 𝐸𝐿DE. The Knight of Truth wonders how Percival thinks about her, but 𝐸𝐿DE assures her that she's sure that Percival is very fond of her. However, Anne counters that by saying, yeah, as friends, maybe. The Knight of Love tells Anne, why don't you just go up there and tell him how you feel? Yeah, you need proper communication here, Anne. The only thing that's holding Anne back is how she kind of perceives Percival anyway. She just sees him more as a little kid, not a young man who's her age. She's sure that Percival wouldn't even understand these kinds of feelings. If Grandpa didn't teach him, then he wouldn't know. Not only is it Percival's naivety and innocence, but Anne's very fearsome rival. And speak of the devil shall appear. Rosebank and 𝐿𝐮𝐬𝐻 meet up with Anne, completely by coincidence, I assume. The two groups catch up with Anne, knowing that is Rosebank's, asking where they're going. And 𝐿𝐮𝐬𝐻 goes on to say that they're delivering medicine to the trainees, and might as well just save them the travel if she just gives them the medicine instead. However, Anne stares at 𝐿𝐿𝐻, not knowing that is the stare of a competitive love rival. Then Anne just shrugs it off, saying, "Oh, it's nothing." To break the uneasy tension, Percival shouts, "Whoa, there you girls are," as he jumps gleefully in his chibi form, yelling, "Good morning. I just got up a second ago." Anne and 𝐿𝐻𝐻 are glad to see the Percival that they know and love, while Rosebank charges, yelling, "Percival!" much to their surprise. Rosebank straight up tackles Percival, yelling, "Oh god damn, I'm so glad you're safe," leaving Percival very, very confused. Not only is Percival's expression matching the whole situation, but everyone else is reacting. 𝐿𝐻𝐻 and Anne are just dumbfounded. I think Anne turned stone. 𝐬𝐮𝐫𝐞 is blushing like, oh man, a third love rival. And Lancelot is just whistling like, this is my business. Leaving Percival to wonder, wait, who are you? And then realizes that, yeah, it is Rosebank. And like many of us expected, she fell in love with Percival back in the demon realm, when he saved her from death all those years ago. She's been dying to burst out all those feelings, and 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐻 knows what that means. Yeah, much like Anne and 𝐿𝐻𝐻, Rosebank says that she's fallen in love with him as a man, of course, while she shows off her assets of being a woman to Percival. Rosebank is begging Percival, "I know it's not what you expected to hear after all this time, but I've just never met a man like you before. How would you know? He looks like a kid before," and begs him, "So please, I need you to be my partner." Wow, just straight up admitting it. 𝐿𝐻𝐻 and you two really should stop the shy girl act and be bold and brave like Rosebank here. Remember when Anne said that Percival wasn't gonna get those feelings? Yeah, she was pretty spot on, as Percival has no idea what she meant by partner. And Lancelot just tries to explain that she means your mate. No, don't say mate. Dude, you're not an animal. No, don't say it. Percival places his hands around Rosebank, saying, "I'm really glad to hear that, Rosebank," while Anne and 𝐿𝐻𝐻 are probably about to explode out of embarrassment. But we close chapter 212 with this cliffhanger of Percival saying, "I'm sorry, but I actually have someone I already love," leaving Anne and 𝐿𝐻𝐻 blushing like tomatoes, wondering who this person is. And that is how we end chapter 212.
So, will it be Bachelorette number 1, Bachelorette number 2, or Bachelorette number 3?
Pick number 3, my lord.
I can't be the only one who was thinking about this after this chapter. Percival has 3 girls after him: a fairy giant princess, a tomboy knight who knows when you're lying, and a very thick, emphasis on the thick, nurse who met him one day a couple of years ago and just has not let go of that obsession. But hey, I'm sure Gawain will be happy to take Rosebank off Percival's hands, because she is the only one who has not gotten a love interest. I mean, think about it. Percival has 𝐿𝐻𝐻, Anne, and Rosebank. Lancelot has Guinevere, Jericho, and I assume the Lady of the Lake. Contrast to Tristan, who only needs one woman, and that is the tall queen herself, 𝐬𝐮𝐽. Not only is she a love interest, but they are now officially an item. Good on you, Tristan. And as for Gawain, She certainly flirted with the girls, but it was always one-sided. No one has made the moves on her. She made the moves on them. This was a pretty good and relaxing chapter. Hopefully, now that we're back in Leonis, we got a training arc ahead of us. With Percival awake and Lancelot returns, we need to see what's going on with Tristan and Gawain. Before that can happen though, we need to know, who is Percival really in love with? 𝐿𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 or Anne? If you love 7 Deadly Sins and 4 Nights of the Apocalypse material, subscribe for more content coming your way in the near future, but stick around for more coming your way very soon. This has been Dante from the Anime Underworld, and I'll see you mortals later.